in the internet land. Thank you for joining live and streaming. And joining me today, the one and only Sean Killian from Vio-Lence. Sean, how are you?
Great, Ted. It's great to be talking to you, man.
Dude, thank you for taking your time out on this Saturday. Really appreciate it. And for all of you guys, viewers that are watching, Vio-Lence from the Bay Area scene, one of my favorites. And before I get moving here, I want to get a little nostalgic here with Sean. The first time I saw Vio-Lence in the summer of '87, I just got out of 8th grade. Jesus, I mean, I'm hating myself here. Do you remember the show? It was actually Death Angel's video shoot for Voracious Souls, Vio-Lence and Betrayal.
Oh, wow.
At the Stone in San Francisco. I think it was July 7th or July 14th, one of those days in the summer of '87, man. I remember that show really well. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dean had a broken leg.
He may have been recovering from.
Yeah.
Oh, did he break his leg that night?
No, he had a cast on. I remember that.
Okay, yeah, because we were on that same stage when he dislocated his knee.
Yeah,
like months earlier.
I remember. I could tell, just being nostalgic. You guys were still on your '86 demo. I remember a friend of mine told me about the demo. I went out and bought it at the Record Vault, and man, that demo blew me away, dude. I had to see you guys. So that's the first time I saw you in '87, and you guys tore it up at that show. Unbelievable.
Awesome.
Been a fan since. You know.
And a friend, Ted. I've been a friend. We've been friends for a while, man.
Speaking of that, I'm going to touch upon a factoid that a lot of viewers may not know. Me and Will played in a band, and you produced our demo. Dude,
Yeah.
30 years ago, dude, right here. This demo tape right here.
Awesome. There it is.
Found it. I was looking at, dude, it's this demo. We produced it in Livermore at Audio Voyage.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, like recorded in 1990. I was like, oh my God, that was 30 years ago, dude. I feel so old, but I don't, you know? Do you remember that recording session?
Oh yeah. What was the engineer's name? I forgot his name.
Doug Mann.
Doug Mann, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
so
it was fun.
I forgot, it's Warfare DC, and the demo's called Lethal Injection. And yeah, you produced it. And you know, I remember some of it. I don't know if you remember all of it.
I'm gonna have to go listen to it now, Ted.
Yeah. I remember this. We spent the night at your house in Castro Valley the whole weekend. Yeah, and Will Carroll, when we were in the same band together, we talked about it not that long ago. He remembers you made us spaghetti.
Yeah, gotta eat.
You gotta eat. But yeah, I mean, that was fun times. I mean, that was during the Oppressing the Masses era. I think Oppressing the Masses just came out in '90, right? Am I correct? Yeah, and I remember, I'll tell a story from that recording session. Will was the only one that had killer equipment. He had a good drum set. I didn't have. I had shitty equipment, and you had Phil Demo lend me his guitar, and Rob Flynn lend me his half stack to get that, you know, to get a good recording. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. But the whole experience was great. We had a demo. It did fairly well, and that's the connection we had, and we've been friends ever since. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
great memories.
But oh yeah, it's great memories. And before I get on to our discussion with my bro here, I just want to let all the fans know, if you haven't heard of Vio-Lence, there's a great documentary on Vio-Lence called Blood and Dirt right here. If you want to know all the history on Vio-Lence, from how they started and whatnot, get this. It's out on Megaforce. Blood and Dirt, a must-have. So now, Sean, let's get to it here.
Excellent.
Thrash of the Titans, when you guys re-emerged again. What were you guys doing before Thrash of the Titans? Were you doing any musical projects or whatnot?
No, Phil was. I think they were doing Torque at that time, and I was just working. I was actually working for Shea Holmes, and we went to see a Giants game as a team builder. And we were on the way back on a bus. They had at least like 2 or 3 buses. And Phil called me saying, "Hey, Walter wants to put this thing together because Chuck's got, he's got cancer and he needs help." And he said, Walter asked if Vio-Lence would play it. And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." I mean, it wasn't even hesitation. It was like, "Oh yeah, let's do it." And it was we practiced hard every night for probably 2 straight months. And yeah, because we were like, "Man, we can't go out there and blow it. This is going to be a big deal."
Yeah, totally.
And we played after Anthrax actually too.
Yeah, I mean, was this meant to be a one-off? Like, okay, we'll just get back together for Chuck and that's it, or because for Death Angel, it was a one-off. It's like Death Angel didn't want to get back together. They were holding off on confirming till Chuck called Rob, and Rob had to talk with the rest of the guys and goes, "If we're gonna do this one Death Angel show, it's gonna be for Chuck, nothing else." And then all of a sudden we got a wild hair up our ass. Did you guys feel the same way too?
We had the same one.
You had the same, exactly.
Yeah, and we booked Slims because Phil and I after the show was like, "Well, geez, man, we should do this again and see what happens." And so we booked Slims and it sold out. And then we got an opportunity. We went out with Testament when Chuck got better, and then we went out with Testament and Death Angel.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Rob Halford.
Yeah, we did some shows together.
Yeah, we did some House of Blues shows and Sunset. And
those were fun.
Yeah,
those were fun.
Yeah, we did Downtown Disney. Were you guys? I can't remember if you guys were on that or not.
No, I know we did the Sunset and we did San Francisco.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, we did those 2. So I mean, after Thrasher Times, just like us, we started to do some shows. Then we signed with Nuclear Blast, released an album, and the rest is history. Were you guys planning on writing new songs and releasing an album after Thrasher?
We were writing new songs, and then when Rob got a hold of Phil and asked him to join Machine Head, it was kind of like, okay, well, Phil called me and told me, and I was just like, yeah, well, you always wanted to be a musician. I got my life, and it's not like, when I joined the band, it wasn't like I was, I got to find a band. I got to be in a band. It's like we worked together, and Phil's like, oh yeah, Jerry left, and I'm like, well, I'll try that. That's kind of how it happened.
Now, jumping on that, I mean, was Vio-Lence your first band you ever sang for? Were you in any other bands?
No, never.
Dude, that's
I've ever been in.
I mean, because I want to touch upon your singing style. Like the Bay Area to me is known for bands who have a unique sound, with unique singers. You have this unique singing. It's very fast paced, and the lyrics are pretty brutal, man. I put the lyrics up there with Slayer. I don't know where you get these crazy serial killer ideas, bro.
I still have them. There's something going on up here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, even back then, you had the stage presence where you came out there, and you're pretty scary to look at, dude. And you look like you wanted to kill everyone in the crowd. Come on, like, I'm sure fans will agree with me if they saw, when they saw Vio-Lence back in the day.
If you're in a band and its name is Vio-Lence,
yeah,
you better bring it. And, when I wrote the lyrics, dude, I wasn't thinking about how I would sound. It was just, writing lyrics and write to Phil's music. And, they had all that same music. And I would see him at Ruthie's and be like, man, he's got some great riffs, from Eternal Nightmare. But before it was called Eternal Nightmare, I don't know what it was called before that. But then I just wrote lyrics to the stuff when I joined the band. And it wasn't like I was thinking about how I should sound. But I was always kind of into punk and GBH and stuff. So I think that's kind of where I get I got to pump a lot of words in here and I got a lot of shit to say. And, it's like, it just kind of came out that way. And, my lyrics, it's like, I'm just good at mixing words, man. And I don't know, it just come. We're writing right now, Ted. And it's just like, sometimes it's a struggle, and then sometimes, man, the stuff just comes right out of you.
Yeah.
out of me.
I mean,
And it's not like and then, but also at the same time, it's like, you know, after doing Nothing to Gain and being kind of influenced by the labels and told what to do and stuff, it's like, well, we weren't that band when we started, and the industry turned us into that band, so we're not going to let that happen again. And so it's more that real uncompromising lyrics that we're doing. And that's the thing, you can't really compromise when your band's name's Vio-Lence and you have
you can't.
people have expectation, I think.
Yeah. Now you brought up Nothing to Gain, which is, I mean, I've read in interviews and, you know, I've read some posts that you're not really fond of that album. I mean, I like that album. They had some good songs, especially Atrocity is one of my favorites. You know, I mean, was that an album that was influenced by the label?
It pretty much, I mean, we were having look, I mean, none of our albums ever came out on the same label. You know, Eternal was on Mechanics, Oppressing on Megaforce, Nothing to Gain came out on some European label. I don't know, we're just not that kind, you know, and with Mechanics and Megaforce, they had major distributors, you know, Atlantic and MCA. And so when we were at that stage writing that, we were still on Megaforce, and it was kind of like, well, you know, they want this, they want that, and it was like that. But again, it's still we're the same guys creating the music, so it's great. Now, as I look back on that record today, I think if we had a chance to re-record it, it would be a lot more intense than it is than what you hear, because the songs are there. It's just you know, Michael Rosen, good producer for some. For Vio-Lence, probably not so good. And that's who we worked with. We should have stuck with Alex, you know, because Alex is more of a Vio-Lence kind of a guy. Because we're just kind of a bunch of assholes.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man? In that DVD, it shows a lot of assholism in that one. But okay, Vio-Lence.
It's still going today, Ted. It's just like it's those two records, you know, Eternal and Oppressing, and people still, and it's a new generation because of social media.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? When I have to say, when Death Angel goes on tour, everywhere we go around Europe, I see a lot of Vio-Lence shirts in the crowd, man. It's really good to see. You know, it's really good to see. And I'll touch upon that later, Europe. Phil joins Machine Head in 2003. You guys, the rest of the band, go off and do any other projects, or what happened after that?
I think Perry did some stuff with Zet, but I didn't. I don't, you know, I think Dean played with a couple guys in a cover band. They go to play bars and stuff, but yeah, nothing professional.
Nothing professional.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Perry was working with Zet, but I don't know what they did. I really can't recall, because for me, I was working, raising my family, and all that good stuff.
Doing your thing, huh?
Doing my thing, yeah. Heck, I probably hardly even went to any shows ever. I just kind of was like, okay, I got to be dad and take care of my kids. And
yeah, because right after, I think the Pound show, I think I wasn't at that show.
Yeah, 420 show.
That was the last show, right?
Yeah, that was the last show.
You had Troy Fua, Rob, and all them join.
Yeah.
The next time I saw you was when Death Angel played Sacramento. At that.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. That's the first time I saw you in a long time.
A tattoo and whatever thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude. I don't know. I might have gone to one show before that, but yeah. No, and Gary, I remember Gary was there, and Skin Lab played, and
yep.
But yeah, I hadn't been out in a while. It was good to see you guys too, man, because I hadn't seen y'all for so long.
Yeah, it was good to see you. I was like, holy man, Sean, what are you doing here? I thought you were still in the Bay Area, but you were living up in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but okay. We, there was a couple of videos that were submitted for questions for you, Sean.
Oh, cool.
We put something up on the website, and I don't know what's wrong with these people, man. I think they're afraid to send in the video. They're afraid of you. I think they're afraid of Sean Killian here. So, I would be too. But I'm gonna share my screen with you, and I'm gonna share you. This one person sent in 2 videos, 2 questions. Awesome. So I'll play. Let me see if you can see my. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. I'm gonna play it. This one comes from Mike Procali. Let's see.
Hey, what's up? This is Mike Procali from San Francisco. What's up, Sean? What's up, Ted? I wanted to know if Sean played any instruments or if he has encouraged his children to play.
Have I played any instruments, or what was the second part?
Or you encourage your kids to play.
Yeah, so I play guitar. I couldn't be in a band shredding. I could write though,
Yeah.
I got a bass, a guitar. Seamus has a ukulele. He played alto. He's got alto sax. He could play. He plays the guitar. He plays the bass. Yeah, so I do try to push him. My daughter dances. She's not really. She wants to start taking singing lessons, which for me, it's like I'm always pushing these kids. I want you to do this. She dances. She's been dancing since she was 3. I mean, she's fantastic.
That's awesome, man.
She wants to go to the next level, and that's what I was telling her. Well, you gotta learn singing and take drama lessons and stuff. So she's now wanting to do that. So I do push the kids, but I do play guitar, and I can play the bass beat better because there's less strings.
Have you written any riffs for the new Vio-Lence record since you play guitar?
I didn't brought the guitar in, but it's kind of like Phil and I were throwing stuff back and forth. I can hear, right, and if I can hum notes to him, then he can play them, and so he'll come in with stuff, and we'll throw down, and then I'll hear something in my head and be like, "Oh, hey, do it like this," or and hum the notes to him. So, but no, I don't bring my guitar in. I don't want to embarrass myself.
Oh, man, I know you could shred. I mean, you could just play and go, "Hey, man, check this out,"
Arpeggios, bro. I could throw down some heavy arpeggios.
Dude. Hey, man, Vio-Lence needs some arpeggios, bro. I think a lot of thrash bands need some arpeggios. I mean, you can do them,
No, I can't.
And the same person has another question, so I'm going to play you that second question, and here we go.
I have one more question. Growing up, I listened to dance music, and I kept that a secret because I didn't want anybody to call me a fucking poser. I wanted to know if Sean had any guilty pleasures while growing up in the Bay Area music scene.
What
you got? Guilty pleasure, Sean?
Yeah, dude, I like all kinds of music. I mean, if it's good, I like it. I don't listen to pop, much, but I do like Billie Eilish. I think she's awesome.
I think, dude, we saw her at the Grammy. I thought she did great.
She's just her and her brother. I mean, they're incredible writers, and I really like the music. But I listen to industrial. I listen to The Cure. I listen to all kinds of music. Depeche Mode. I listen to Beethoven. I was listening to the other day. I was listening to Hank Williams the other day.
Nice.
Yeah. Bluegrass.
Come on, Sean. Anything like you listen to that you're afraid to let people know you listen to? Come on. Let it all out, Sean. Come on.
Yeah, I don't listen to I like 80s new wave a lot, I'm not
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Dude, me and Will are big fans of Weird Al Yankovic. Come on.
But I'm not a believer.
Oh man. Come on, like I said earlier, me and Will love Weird Al Yankovic. We don't care. We love his style.
Oh, no, I like Weird Al. Yeah. He's funny as heck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a believer. I like Eminem, dude. I love rap. Good. I like the hardcore rap.
Yeah. You like the new hip hop or the old hip hop?
Again, I have to say, well, I like the old hip hop because I mostly grew up on that. But if it's good, it's good, right?
Yeah,
Sucks.
I guess
everyone has their opinion about what's good and what sucks. So
yeah, I mean, music speaks to people differently, which is a good thing.
But I like new stuff. I mean, I couldn't name anybody.
I couldn't either.
Childish Gambino, he's funny. He's got a couple of good ones.
Yeah. Sean, I want to talk about something pretty serious here. You had liver cirrhosis. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So, how did you find out you had it? Was it like you went to get a physical and they told you, or
Yeah. So I was taking a statin, for my cholesterol. So I would do my blood work every 6 months, and so I would go see my doctor afterward. And my platelet count was really, really low, like critically low. And then, but everything else, my enzymes, everything was fine. And so then he ordered a CT scan, and that's when they said, "Oh, well, your liver's destroyed."
Whoa.
And so, I didn't have any symptoms until maybe 3 months later. So it's not like I went in there thinking, "Oh man, I don't feel good," or "I got this problem going on." It was diagnosed, and then the symptoms started really kicking in heavy.
Wow.
3 months later.
Was that hereditary, or was that due to maybe years of drinking?
No, it was a genetic blood disorder. It's called alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. So alpha-1 antitrypsin is a protein your body makes, and it removes toxins from your liver cells and lung cells, and then you piss them out or whatever. So if your body's not making it, what happens is those cells start clogging up, and then they just start dying because there's nothing removing the toxins. So people that have COPD, they have the same problem, but which is more prevalent. COPD is more prevalent when it comes to alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Liver cirrhosis happens, but it's pretty rare.
Wow. Okay.
And so, I could get into it with these chromosomes and stuff. And it's like this, you get the alpha-1 antitrypsin protein has 2 chromosomes, and you get one from each parent. And so if your parents have an M chromosome and a Z chromosome, both of them, and you have the chance of getting 2 M's or an M and a Z, or 2 Z's, and 2 Z's is what I got. And that's about 90, I think it was like 98.6%. That happens about 98.6% of the time you will not have that problem. And so most people don't have it. So it is kind of rare, but it happens. And good thing that the UCSF was there and my brother-in-law, he was a living donor and donated 63% of his liver. They removed and put in me.
Wow, man.
They removed mine completely. And so he went into surgery at about 7:30 and got out at about, I think, 11:30. And my surgeon, Dr. John Roberts, his wife, Dr. Asher, removed the portion from my brother-in-law, Kevin, and then Dr. John Roberts put it in me to remove my liver and put it in me. It's kind of a trip. They run the department there at UCSF for kidney and livers.
Wow, that's pretty tense, because it's gonna bring me to this next thing. When you were diagnosed, Killian on Command, the show.
Yeah.
And I'm going to touch upon that. But before I touch upon that, there was another benefit for you that Phil Demmel did. It was a golf tournament, which I heard it was really successful. And, shout out to Phil Demmel for that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great guy. And for Killian on Command, the metal community, man, it was like they came out in full force, just like Thrash of the Titans.
Yeah, it was amazing, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah, people from around the world came. The show was incredible. And I just wanted to ask you, before I give you my thoughts on that show, what was the highlight moment of that whole show? I mean, I didn't get a chance to talk to you personally because everyone was crowding you, and to be honest, you were looking pretty frail that night. And I didn't want to overwhelm you at all. I didn't want to overwhelm you.
Yeah. Well, so I told Dana and Beth and these guys that were putting it on, I don't want to know what's going to happen. I just want to show up, and I don't want to hear any about because I heard they changed venues, and
Yeah.
Dana wanted to tell me why. I was like, I really don't want to know. I just want to. I'll go if I can make it. I'll go, and I want to be surprised. I want to have my first impression be like, wow. So it's kind of an emotional thing for me. But seeing Chuck there, that was a highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it came full circle.
Yeah.
Because we were there for him. He showed up for us, for me. So that was the biggest part.
Yeah, that was emotional too. I mean, I thought about that too, Chuck being there, because we were there for him. You were there for him.
Yeah.
We had full circle.
And I didn't know he was going to be there, dude, until I went backstage and saw him there.
Yeah, man. It really surprised me because I remember, mutual friend of ours, Beth Reisner, she called me and she goes, "Hey, we're having a meeting. We're thinking of putting on this benefit show for Sean." So we met at a restaurant in San Leandro. It was me, Scott Holderby, Craig LaCicero, Matt Camacho from Forbidden, Mark Hernandez, and Ray Vegas. And we all talked about doing this thing. And, and I have to give it to Craig LaCicero, man. He was a good musical director on, placing people on songs and stuff like that. Who would play the songs great. And I was fortunate enough to play 5 songs. And I have to tell you, man, and I talked about this with Zetro. Those songs are not easy to play, bro. From a guitar standpoint, and, from a vocal standpoint, Zetro, we had this discussion on the last tour we were on. He goes, "Man, we have a total respect for Vio-Lence, much more than we ever did."
Right on.
The guitar riffs, the arrangements. I don't know what Phil was writing, what he was thinking for the Eternal Night. I'm like, man,
check it out. When we got back to do the April shows, we're rehearsing, and Phil's like, "What the hell was I thinking?" The whole time he's trying to figure out how to play Eternal Nightmare, Kill on Command, and all these songs, before our first show last year. That's exactly what he was thinking.
That show was like, and I was having a hard time learning the songs, and I actually FaceTime with Phil. I was like, "Dude, what is the riff in the middle part of Officer Nice?" And he had to show me all this stuff. It's tricky, man. Those songs they're fun to play, but they were hard, but it was, I had a good time. Everyone at that show had a good time. We're fortunate enough to, it was a no-brainer when it was like, we're going to do a benefit for Sean. I remember calling Will and go, "Hey, we got to do this benefit for Sean." It was easy. Boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thanks, man. I know a lot of people put a lot of hard work and effort into doing that too. And it wasn't until afterwards that I started talking to people. It was like, oh, wow. And you're hearing the stories about rehearsing and learning the tunes, and you and other people FaceTiming with Phil, because I know he was giving up a lot of his time to try to help people. And then Craig's effort, everybody's effort was just, that's a big part too. It's just like, what do you say?
Yeah, man. It was, and you know what, man? We're so happy you're with us, dude. So happy you're with us, dude. And I know, man. I know your crazy ass ain't going down without a fight. And,
I'm happy I'm here. But I'll tell you, Ted, the whole time, because it took about 2.5 years of my life.
Yeah.
And the whole time it was just like I was working, I was doing what I had to do every day. And I didn't want to be laying on a couch, just giving up to it. And I worked right to the day before my surgery.
Wow.
And it wasn't, but I had to do it. So, and then during the surgery, after the surgery, I remember I woke up in the hospital, dude, looking at the ceiling. It might have been because my surgery took 10 or 11 hours. No, actually, it might have been, I went in at 9 and I got out at I want to say 8. So about 11 hours. And they didn't wake me up till the next night. So I was in there went in on a Monday. They woke me up Tuesday night at 7:45. And then I remember I got out of the ICU. I was in my room, and I remember waking up one morning, staring at the ceiling, thinking to myself, man, he just took a huge organ out of me and put it in his other piece. And this guy worked on me for 11 hours. I don't know how he did it, but I'm staring at the ceiling.
Wow, man. I mean, here's a crazy question. Did you have an out of body experience? Did you feel like or was it felt like you were just sleeping?
For me, it wasn't really an out of body experience. For me, it was more of a change in perspective, because it wasn't like I wasn't afraid, or I felt it was the point. I remember because I was being interviewed by, you have a slew of people. There's like 15 people with me, and one of them's a social worker, so she had to interview me. And I remember her asking me questions about, well, are you afraid? You have anxiety? And I was just like, you know what? I'm not afraid. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I just got to do whatever these doctors tell me to do. And I can't do anything beyond that. And you get to, that's, I think, the enlightening moment for me, is that coming to that realization that, we're not in control.
I hear you.
Something could happen to you at any time,
Which is going to segue me to the next question. You recovered, you got out, and violence comes back again. I mean, were you thinking like, I want to do music again, life's too short, this is what I want to do? I mean, what made you resurrect violence again?
So when I was recovering right after my surgery, I was thinking about the killing on command thing, and like all those people that showed up, and something, I was just inside my head going, what, I gotta get back on stage. I gotta play violence songs to pay these people back, and I don't know what that would look like at the time. I had no idea, but I knew I could pull some musicians together and make it happen, because Phil was still in Machine Head, and then later on down the line, after Phil left Machine Head and did his little stint with Slayer, and I was just driving home, and I was feeling stronger, and so I was like, I sent him a text, hey man, let's play a show or let's do a show. And he's like go to a movie? I'm like, no man, like a violence show. Yeah, so that's kind of how it happened.
Wow.
Then, I got hold of Dean and Perry and Ray, and we just planned on doing the one show, and then it sold out. And then, Tom, I think is his name, down there at the Metro, he's like, you guys, you got to do another show. That's like, we sold out in like hours.
I think in under hours. I mean, I bought my ticket. I was at that show, incredible show. That's the closest. That show was probably the closest you could get of being in the Bay Area in the 80s, reliving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, no barrier.
No barrier.
It's not a super pro freaking place. It's like, it is what it is, kind of a club like Ruthie's was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember when you guys opened up with Eternal Nightmare, and I was in the crowd. I didn't expect that whole crowd to go crazy, man. I'm too old to go in the pit, Sean.
Yeah, me too. Get all beat up.
I don't think you're that old. You were stage diving and riding the crowd that night, man.
A little bit. I did a better job in LA. We played the Beer and Metal Festival. I got on top of the crowd there, and I was on top completely.
I saw some footage of that. But just to let you know, Sean, I mean, there's people around the world checking out this live stream right now, from the Bay Area, Costa Rica, UK, Switzerland, Austria, everyone, there's a lot of people tuning in, and, it goes to show that people still have a lot of love for violence, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you don't realize it, Ted, until you do it and go. I mean, because we were kind of like, well, let's just play the Metro, because we don't want to book a big place and then have it half full, and because Phil and I, we really didn't know. Yeah. And then sold out in hours. It was like, what? And so the next show sold out in minutes, dude. And there's people from Japan and all over the world, all over this country, Japan, South America, Mexico. It was crazy. And that's when it was just like, wow, people, I can't believe this, right?
Like, years, 25 plus years later, people do give a shit about thrash, especially Vio-Lence. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all of us, dude. All of us.
All of
the
us.
bands. Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Vio-Lence has never been to Europe, but you guys went for the first time last year and played Alcatraz Festival, right?
Yes.
How was that?
Dude, it was awesome. It was cool because Kortrijk, Belgium is an awesome little town. A lot of history there. And then we got dude, they lost our luggage and all that. I got the luggage back like hours before our meet and greet. And so we did our meet and greet, and the promoter's like, you guys, we've had meet and greets for the last day, and this is the longest line we've seen. They had to cut us off. Like, they're like, dude, okay, you're done. The next band has to come out, you know, that we're on a schedule. And there was still a line of probably 100 people. And so we left that area and went out into the crowd to sign autographs and take pictures with people because they'd been standing there waiting for us. There's bands on the big stage right in front of us, you know, while this is going on. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And then when I went up and watched Sodom played before us.
Yeah.
And so I watched them for a little bit. So they were on the same stage we were on. So I was kind of checking out the crowd, and I was watching your guys' video from when you played it.
Okay.
And, you know, I was watching that to see what it was about before we went, you know, before we left. But I went out and checked it out, and it was cool, man. When we came out, the place was packed beyond the tent. I could see beyond the tent, Ted, because we played the swamp stage.
Yeah.
And there was people all the way back to the concessions. It was insane. There was people crying in front of us.
Dude, I was so happy for you guys when you guys played Alcatraz because we were out there in Europe at the same time. I remember texting you and Perry. I go, dude, have a good show. I wish we were playing Alcatraz, but I think we were in Portugal. But yeah, I saw some footage. I saw some videos. I had friends that went to that show, and they said,
dude, I got off the stage onto the barrier, stood up on the barrier, and sung the last part of Eternal Nightmare.
Nice, man.
Yeah, because I was like, man, I got to get it. Because you know how it is, Ted, the barrier, it's so far away from the stage, and it's just, I got to be connected. You know, I got to connect with these. I feel like that. That's why I stage dive and do all this other stuff. I love it when there's no barrier because I like to be in people's face and connect with them.
Totally, man. I know what you mean, man. But yeah, I'm glad you guys finally went out there. And, you know, let's get to some questions before I continue on to our conversation. We're getting a lot of questions here, man.
Oh, cool.
Sean, you're pretty famous.
I got to walk over to my car and plug my phone in and sit in my car because I don't want my battery to die. It's like at 15%.
All right. Why don't you let me know when you got it plugged in, then we'll get these questions going.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
I'm not that far away. But
yeah,
it's gorgeous out today, man. Look at the sky.
Oh, man, beautiful. Everyone, all the viewers out there, while Sean's on his way to plug in his phone, we want to thank everyone for joining us. Taking the time out Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, wherever you're at around the world. Thank you for joining in. Me and Sean are having a good time, and I hope you are too. I think Sean's in his car.
I am in my car, plugged in. Yeah, all right.
You got a charge? All right, man. We got one video question here from Danny Krupp, and I'm gonna play it for you right now. Let's see here. Whoa, here we go.
Hey guys, grew up in the Bay Area, Fremont, California, man. I've been following you guys for a long time, back in the days, and seeing the Stone, the Omni, shit like that. Death Angel, Ted, I just saw you guys play last August up here in Seattle where I'm living now. Sean, I was looking forward to seeing you guys down in Portland this August, but all the shit fucking happened. I don't know if that's going to happen, but anyway, I want to say congratulations to you both, man. Ted getting over COVID-19, and Sean, of course, with that cirrhosis shit, man. Good to see you guys are both doing well and healthy. Sean, my question is to you. I heard you guys got a new album coming out, man. I look forward to hearing that, man. You got any samples? I'd love to hear it on this live shit, man. Otherwise, I just want to say I love you guys, man. Good to see you guys are doing okay. Rock on, man.
He's asking for examples of your new album, if you have it, any songs, demo versions probably.
No, we haven't demoed anything yet. We were just talking about it Thursday practice. Phil talked to Metal Blade, and we're gonna probably do some pre-production in our studio and put something together, just a storyline and where we're at today, and kind of have the music loop in the background, one of the riffs. But you know, it's like Bobby's in Palm Beach, and you know, Christian's down in LA, and we tried to get him up here. We're probably going to try to get him up here at the end of the month to do a little pre-production stuff, maybe, because Christian's like got equipment up the yin yang, dude. So he's going to come up with all his gear, and we can get some drum tracks down in our studio and stuff like that.
Yeah. Speaking of Christian, and there's a couple new members in your band, right? You got Bobby from Ex Overkill playing guitar with you, and Christian Oldie Wolbers from, you know, Ex Fear Factory. How's the chemistry with those two in the band now? I mean,
great, man. Dude, we practiced. I don't know if you saw our live feed. I live fed on Facebook and Instagram. I was going back and forth. We were rehearsing, you know, and it's a good vibe, man. We are all, you know, we all like think the same, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
we're all into the heaviness. We like. I mean, you know, Bobby's the king of down picking, and his first practice with us, he any mistakes, he was on board. You know, the songs are a little different, like, you know, because there's little nuances in the riffs that you can't really hear on the record and stuff. But yeah, he nailed all the rough solos, and then Christian, Phil talked to Christian, because Dean, it's not that we don't want Dean in the band. It's just too time consuming, and he has his life. And, you know, when I first called Dean, it was like, you know, I want you to do it if you can do it, but I don't want ever for violence to be a reason why you lost your job or something like that, you know, because he's got his daughter he's got to take care of. And so we kind of came to this agreement that, it's, you know, that was going on before the whole COVID thing too. And then so Phil brought up Christian. We met him and jammed a little bit with him. Then he's in LA, so he just drives up to see us. And it's a good vibe. I mean, Christian was Ex Fear Factory. He's Ex Fear Factory. He does stuff with Cypress Hill. He's done some stuff with Snoop Dogg. He toured with Korn. He's done a lot of stuff. He's got his band. He and Sin Dog have and a couple other guys. I think one of the guys was from Biohazard. But their band is called
Power Flow.
Power Flow. Yeah. So he's a busy musician, and he's done a lot of big stuff, man.
Yeah, I know Christian.
He's done a lot of big stuff. He's got a lot of gold. He's got a lot of gold and platinum records on his walls in his house.
Yeah, he's a good musician, a good guy. I've known him for a long time. He's a cool cat, man. And you got a good guy, you know, playing bass for you if Dean can't do it. I'm sure everything comes Dean, but you know.
We just want to put that on stage right now. We're so jonesing to play live, because people are going to be like, holy smokes, you know?
Yeah.
It's like this, you know, me and Phil and Perry, and now we got these two badasses. It's like, we just can't wait to play live, you know?
I can't wait either. You guys were supposed to play not that long ago, you know, at the Metro, but, you know, Shelter in Place happened, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's still on for August 15th. We haven't postponed it yet. We'll probably postpone. If we have to, we'll do it at the end of the month.
Gotcha.
It's just so people have time to change their plans and all their airfare and everything. Because there are people coming from all over again.
Wow, man.
I
awesome.
get messages on Facebook and Instagram and people from all over the world that are coming to the show. Because they ask, you know, are you guys going to postpone? Because I got to change my airfare and do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So we try to keep that consideration.
That's awesome to see that kind of love, man. Speaking of that kind of love, we got a couple of questions here. I'm looking at the chat. Somebody named Pat Thompson asked Sean, what would you describe today's violence compared to back in the day?
So today's violence is back in the. It is a cross between Eternal Oppressing and also our '93 demo. It's fast, it's heavy. We got a couple good chunk riffs and stuff like that. We don't, we want to get something like that's going to stir the pit up too. But we think that it's going to really, people are going to go crazy when they hear it. But we got some heavy lyrics, some heavy subjects. I mean, we're not a political band by any means. So when I say heavy, it's just heavy shit that comes out of my demented head. And then it's like, we haven't, like I said, at the end of the month, I think we're going to work with Christian. I'm going to try to get Christian Bobby out here so we can work together as a band on this new stuff and kind of bring it together. And, but it's heavy, dude. It's the expectation's high. So we know that. And like I was telling you earlier, Ted, we've thrown away half of just as much as we've kept, because we want it to be badass.
Yeah, man. I have no doubt it's going to be badass. Now, you guys are signed to Metal Blade. I know Brian Slagle. Brian Slagle is top-notch dude, man. Super cool dude. That dude knows his metal.
Yeah, and, he does.
He does.
From the beginning.
Yeah. From the very beginning. Back to Alcatraz. That's another story. Were there any other labels, Courtney, before you joined Metal Blade?
Yeah, but when we played the Psycho Fest in Las Vegas, Phil got a chance to sit down with Brian because he was at the show. And for me, when Phil and I talked, I was like, look, I don't want any big record contract. I mean, I just want to write some music and record some music. So let's not get into some big old, convoluted contract. I think our contract's like 2.5 pages.
It's not one of those contracts that you have to sign when you buy a house or something.
Yeah, exactly. So Brian had that available for us, So it was like, well, they're here. He's been in it since the beginning. He's obviously gets it because he's been there since the beginning, with Metal Blade, him personally. So we were just kind of, when we talked, it was like, yeah, let's just go with Metal Blade. I mean, we didn't get any other offers, but there were people that wanted to talk that, we had been talking to. Yeah. And yeah, it is, Ted. They want you. If they want you, they're going to let it be known to you.
Yeah.
And so there were some labels that did. And in the end, we chose Brian because of that whole history and who we are. And they accept us for who we are.
So it's a good partnership between you and Brian.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it'll be a great one.
Good, man. He's a good dude. He knows his metal. So I'm looking forward to this new stuff. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
Let me see what.
Me too.
What other questions some dude named Jesus. Sean, I've seen you said your favorite band is Behemoth. What's your favorite album? I think Sean froze. Did you hear that, Sean?
I put it on. Yeah, I did. I put it on Brian. I have Amazon Music on my phone, so I just put them on and do all the songs. I see all the songs, and then I just mix it, and listen to it. So my favorite song though is what is that? Eschaton 2000.
Wow.
The way it rolls, man. The riff just rolls with the vocals. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we know the guys in Behemoth. I'm not really familiar with their catalog, but they do put on a good show, man. And they're a pretty intense band, When
I first saw them, video of them, I was like, oh my God, that guy's a monster. And I never met Nurgle. And so Phil and I were talking, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally down with, Behemoth. I love Behemoth. And he's like such a huge presence on stage. And he just has to stand there. And he's a huge presence. And then Phil's all, yeah, he's not a really tall guy. I go, dude, you couldn't tell because he's a beast. And so that whole persona he has and the band, that's also something I like a lot too. but the music, dude, it's like, yeah. So Eschaton 2000, that's my favorite. And the Wolves of Siberia, and yeah, they got a lot of great stuff. And it seems like they just keep getting better and better and better, and from every album to album to album. So if you get a chance, I don't know if you're into Behemoth's Head, but if you listen to their catalog, I think you'll find some cool stuff in there. The guitar work is amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. I mean, we played festivals with them, and I think the last time we played with them, we were in the Philippines. We played a festival together.
Wow.
Murgle's a cool guy, man. He's a really super nice guy. Had lunch with him at the hotel, and he's really cool. But I'm gonna have to.
Because I'm like, dude, because we were supposed to play with them at Bloodstock and Alcatraz again this year, and I'm all, dude, I'm like a family. You gotta introduce me to Nurgle, Phil.
Oh, dude, I'm sure you guys will hit it off, man. By far. Yeah. One more question here. I don't know if Keto, Sorakor, from what country? It looks like a Scandinavian country. What is the story behind Liquid Courage?
Liquid Courage, like I don't have like personal stories behind any of our songs, but the story behind Liquid Courage, alcohol, beating your wife, living that life of going to bed, waking up, drinking till you pass out, all that combined with some violence is how Liquid Courage came up. But I wouldn't literally, like I said, none of my songs are like real lyrics are really like a personal experience. It's just subjects that I'm looking for. And that song, those are some of my favorite lyrics actually.
Liquid Courage?
Yeah.
Wow, man. And I'm telling you, man, that beginning riff to Liquid Courage is just so heavy. It's man, you know what? I was pretty pissed off. That's one thing about the Killian on Command show, because I was supposed to play Liquid Courage into Kill on Command. Yeah. But I got kicked off because they had to give it to a couple of other guitar players. I was like, come on, man. That's the riff. I was bummed, man.
That is the riff, dude.
That is the riff.
Riff.
And I remember seeing you guys at the Stone. I think you guys used to open up with that song. It was just, oh, dude, oh man, it was crazy.
We opened up with it at Slim's too when we played Slim's after the Thrash Attack.
Yeah, insane. Sean, one more question from Fred Livingston Jr. What's the future hold for Vio-Lence?
Well, right now we're writing. We have a 5-song EP deal with Metal Blade. We had a bunch of shows booked this year. It's going to be wild next year when stuff opens up. Everyone's going to be wanting to hit the road. So for fans, there should be some great combinations, touring packages coming up next year. Because all these bands that can't tour right now and are not playing shows. And so we're looking forward to that, next year. I mean, we have stuff booked this year too. We've got a European thing booked this year. We'll see what happens. It's the very end of the year. And hopefully that goes off. We've got Chile and Brazil. We'll see what happens. Those are in September. We'll see what happens there. But we got another deal booked in Atlanta, and also we're working on Lima and a couple other places down south. But I don't like not book shows, because if things turn around and someone says, hey, forget it, everyone back to normal, then I want to have shows booked. So it's not like I'm shying away from booking shows, because and it's like one of those, you just make an adjustment, right, Ted? You go, hey, if you got some dates in late in the year, we'll take them. Don't worry about a deposit right now. Let's just get a date solidified so there's something out there. And don't sell tickets or it's up to the promoter what they do. I don't. But for us, it's like that's kind of my approach right now. And so we're hoping the next year is going to be a big year for Vio-Lence, I think, because the EP will be out. We might time it based on what's happening, in the music industry, because I know a lot of people are going to be coming out with music. I mean, you guys got to be writing right now, right?
We're touching upon it right now. I mean, we're in the middle of our Humanicide album cycle, but
oh yeah,
things come to a halt. But we don't
through
need
a
to
wrench in that. Through a wrench in that. Dude, that must have been great playing with Testament and Exodus and Europe, man.
Dude, the shows were incredible, man. You know what? Speaking of that, I'm sure there's going to be more of that, but we should do some shows together in Europe.
Yeah.
I think that would be off the hook. You know what I mean? A year from now, I think things will be a lot better. I think it'd be great to, Death Angel and Vio-Lence did something in Europe, test the waters out. So people want to check that tour out,
Well, too, it's like you guys went out. It's like the Bay Area thing. You're all buddies, right?
Yeah.
So that must have been great. You're touring with all your homeboys. Yeah. And, I'm sure you got, the videos I saw, everyone got just such a massive, reception from all the countries.
It is. I mean, it's probably the most comfortable tour because it's not one of those tours where you go out and you're meeting the bands for the first time. You're like, hey, how you doing? I'm so-and-so. Yeah. This one, I just saw you last week, dude. Now I see you now, but, and plus not only that, the crew that was on all the bands worked with each other. So, they worked for us, they worked for, it was, it went so smooth, dude. I mean, there was no drama, no fights, no nothing. Everyone had a good time other than getting sick. But, but how about this? To start it off, if things go well by this year, you should jump on one of our Christmas shows, bro.
Well, we'll see, because we have that stuff booked up right now. We get back in December, and then Phil has his Merkins thing. So, we want to play together for sure. It'd be a great show.
Dude, it'd be awesome, dude. It'd be awesome. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, Sean. I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite song or album from Death Angel, and I'll tell you mine.
Dude, I love Rob's riff in "I'm Bored." That is probably one of my favorite thrash riffs. Period.
I'm bored.
Yeah. Dude, that riff is killer, and the drums and stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna have that. That's weird. A lot of people like "Bored." It's one of those songs. It's a hit. You know what I mean? But my favorite Vio-Lence album, Eternal Nightmare, but it's weird because my favorite song is Mentally Afflicted.
Oh, from Oppressing.
Man.
What about that song? What is it about that song you like, Ted?
Dude, it's just driving. It just has this weight and heaviness behind it. I mean, and you're singing like you want to chop someone's head off, Yeah.
I wrote that. I wrote that bass riff.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Probably that's why I like it, man. I mean, no, it's just
Christian.
What a Christian?
Christian's trying to learn it, dude. He's trying to learn it. He's sending me videos like, what the hell is wrong with you? How could you? It's a finger twister, right? Yeah. Your brain's like, go this way, but it's the riff saying no, this way.
I mean, that song to me, it's really heavy. And, then it takes you into that middle part where it's bookend, like the middle part where you sing and double bass. It's bookended by two great solos, Phil and Rob's, and it just comes out. To me, it's a badass tune, dude. It's really a killer tune. It's a track that enough exposure to me. People go, Officer Nice, Kill on Command. Those are great songs, but man, when you listen to Mentally Afflicted, it's badass, dude. It's badass. So
I like doing that song, especially live.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, dude. Sean, I'm wrapping this up now. First and foremost, thank you for joining me. And I'm sure all the viewers out there are loving that. You're live. The Vio-Lence is back together, and people out there, check out Vio-Lence's Blood and Dirt out on Megaforce. It's a killer documentary of old footage. And Sean, the floor is yours. If tell all the viewers where they could find Vio-Lence, websites, socials. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so we have our Facebook site and our Instagram site, which I couldn't tell you what they are. It's at Violence Official. I think it's at Violence Official. And then, I have my Instagram page, Sean._.Killian. And my Facebook page. Did I say Facebook twice?
Yeah.
So my Instagram is at Sean._.Killian, which my son set up. And then my Facebook page, and check us out on YouTube. There's a lot of good live stuff. My favorite live, if you go on YouTube to check out Vio-Lence, my favorite live performance from us is the Decibel Magazine Beer and Metal Festival.
Okay.
So people got some good footage from that show, and we had a really good night. That's the night we played with Carcass. We just love to play live, man. It sucks that we're not playing live, but it gives us a chance to write music and focus more on that. So, which I'm going to do here in a couple hours. I'll be out in the Bay Area.
Nice. Before
and
I
just go. I mean,
All right. Before we go, I just got note that Mark Ostagata just jumped in to check this out.
Awesome. What's up, Mark?
Yep. Great guy, man.
Brother. Yeah. Can't wait to see you guys again.
Right on. Well, I can't wait to see you guys again. Sean, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining. Like I said, I'm excited. The viewers are excited. I hope you and the guys have a great rehearsal tonight. Can't wait to check out the tunes, and I'm just glad you're alive, bro.
Thanks, Ted.
I'm glad you're alive. But before we log out, stick around when I end this so we could chit chat for like 1 minute behind the scenes, so the viewers don't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we won't. That always happens.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to live and streaming. And thanks for all the questions for Sean. And check out Vio-Lence on all their socials, websites, Facebook, and everything. All right, guys.